What's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, and I'm going to be bringing you guys my best Kilo 141 class setup as well as gameplay with a tactical nuke where we go over some strategies for you guys to earn more nukes, and this is going to be for 6 versus 6 and 10 versus 10. I figured I'd show you guys a little combat record update here so you guys can see how the stats have been compared to the old one. But anyways, let's go ahead over to the kill streaks first. We're going to be using the VTOL jet as well as the support helo and the advanced UAV. Now, with the VTOL jet, the reason I have this on is because it's my favorite streak in the game. It gets a lot of kills for it's only an 8 kill streak. We get like 3 or 4 kills with it per use. It's a good bang for its buck, basically. And then the support helo, I kind of use it as a distraction after I get my advanced UAV up in the air and then it's out pretty much, or it's running out. I tend to call this up so that way people start focusing more on this, or they'll be easier to find because they'll be more in buildings and they are going to be running around since they're going to be scared of the support helo. And then of course the advanced UAV, just because it's the best kill streak in the game, and it's honestly just makes getting nukes so much easier, especially if you're playing with a friend or two that might be also running the advanced UAV. You'll see in the gameplay I was playing with a friend. I'm not sure if he got an advanced UAV that game or not, but yeah. Anyways, for the class setup, so the Kilo, this is the one I was using in the gameplay. Now, I have the Singard Arms Whisper Barrel, and the reason I have this on is because you're not going to have any visible bullet tracers whenever you are shooting at somebody, so you're not going to be able to see that. Also, of course, you gain sound suppression and bullet velocity, which is really good, but you only lose aim down sight speed whenever you're using this, so it is a very good barrel. And now I have the Commando foregrip as my underbarrel, and the reason I have this on is because it's going to increase your horizontal recoil control, as well as it's going to make your recoil pattern more consistent because of that aiming stability, and you also have less idle sway. Now, there are a couple downsides to this barrel, and one of them is not mentioned. So, number one, you're going to lose about 1% movement speed, but what's really bad is you lose with the Commando foregrip generally around 14 to 15% aim walking movement speed, which isn't really all that good, but this attachment is so good whenever it comes to making your recoil consistent that I would highly recommend it and not worry too much about the loss of aim walking movement speed. Now, for our third attachment, we're going to have the 50 round magazine. This is just so we can take on multiple enemies at once without having to worry about running out of ammo in case things get a little hot. That's the reason I like to use the 50 round magazine. And then stippled grip tape. This is going to help with our sprint to fire speed as well as our ADS speed. We're going to lose a little bit of recoil consistency whenever it comes to the actual pattern, but again, we have the Commando foregrip on to help with that aiming stability loss from this. And then finally, we have sleight of hand, so that way we can reload the gun faster. Now, for perks, this is one I'm going to recommend. So, Scavenger is a must if you are trying to get a nuke and you are using a gun maybe that has some weird ammo types, like maybe the P90 or the MP7. However, if you're using something like this where the Kilo is, you could get away with using something different like EOD, Quick Fix, but personally I like to use Scavenger just so that way I can make sure that I am going to be getting as much ammo as possible. Now, if people are running rockets or claymores or something, you just keep dying to them over and over again, I'd highly recommend throwing on EOD, but I personally was not really running into people that were using those kind of strats tonight, so therefore Scavenger was allowing me to get easier nukes. Now, restock is something you also want, so that way you can have unlimited stim shots and proximity mines, and this is very crucial to the gameplay, which I'm about to go over here shortly. So I'm using shrapnel, so that way I get 2 proximity mines, as well as the explosive damage is going to delay enemy health regeneration. So if I hear a proximity mine go off, I know that there's going to be an enemy coming that way, and if it somewhat damages them because maybe they crouched or whatever, their health regen is going to be delayed for 3 extra seconds unless they have a stim shot. So I can challenge them, they're going to be weak, and that's one of the reasons I like to use this perk. Also, it's really good for sound whoring people in 6 versus 6. Since 6 versus 6 is a little bit of a quieter game mode, having a bunch of proximity mines laying around the map is going to help you understand where people are coming from whenever you don't have UAVs and advanced UAVs. And the main reason I say this is important is because in Modern Warfare, you do not have people pinging on the radar without a UAV, personal radar, or an advanced UAV up in the air. So whenever they shoot their unsuppressed weapon, they are still going to be hidden. Okay, so that's the main reason I like to use shrapnel and proximity mines whenever I am sweating it up for a tactical nuke. And finally, stim, so that way we can recover health as quickly as possible, as needed in case, we get hit in the leg with a sniper or whatever and we need to re-peek. Also, the nice thing about stims is it's going to refresh your tactical sprint, which is really good if you do run out of tactical sprint and you need to get out of a sticky situation. Alright, so getting into the gameplay here, we got some kill confirmed on Pseudo Harbor, as you can see, and basically I'm going to be using this class setup that I just went over for you guys. And one of the things I forgot to make mention of is that in 10 versus 10 I tend to use tracker over shrapnel, and the main reason being is there's a lot more players and usually I find people are kind of playing in a party, or sometimes, you know, maybe a little small party or whatever. And I find Tracker is really good because it hides those death icons whenever you kill somebody. And I forgot to make mention of that whenever I do play 10 versus 10, I rely less on sound and more about stealth and trying to obviously go on flanks and basically controlling the power positions on the map as well as the enemy spawn. So whenever I play, if you guys do follow competitive COD at all, usually the way I try to play whenever it comes to public matches is I try to play the role of an anchor, because I find that is one of the most powerful ways in order to streak up on the enemies. If you don't know what an anchor is, it's basically someone who locks down spawns for the team as well as holds down power positions and stuff like that. So anyways, back to the gameplay here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to just build up my initial streak. Usually this is whenever I play the slowest in every single match, is whenever I'm trying to get that initial streak. And the reason I play slow, usually not too rush happy in the beginning, is mainly because since Modern Warfare has matches and lobbies that break apart after every single match, what I like to try to do is figure out how the enemies are going to be playing the match. So by taking it a little bit slower and trying to see what kind of lanes and routes people are going to be going on, that way I can kind of get information on, hey, are these guys sweaty players? Are they, you know, maybe not so great players and stuff like that. And I try to feel out every single lobby before I decide, you know, how am I going to play this lobby out. So I highly recommend this to you guys if you're trying to go on streaks, is not to go full balls to the wall rushing in every single lobby you get into, because I know a lot of people, they like to run around and have that run and gun play style in Call of Duty, and I think that's fine and dandy. You know, everyone can play the game they want to play, but I personally think that if you are looking to do the best you can, especially with skill-based matchmaking, and I'm assuming that you aren't reverse boosting, which I don't condone that, I personally do not reverse boost, but I would highly recommend that you guys get a feel for each lobby. And as you can see right here, I kind of understood that I could play a little bit more aggressive on these guys, just basically based off of the way that they were playing so far. So pretty much like as I'm saying here, just feel out the lobby, see how it feels for you, and you might have to adjust your class setup again based off of that. You know, if there's a lot of enemy UAVs being called in, you might have to switch to Ghost, which if you're going to switch to Ghost because you want restock, then I'll recommend running both Dead Silence and the munitions box field upgrade, so that's a little bit different. But in this gameplay, since I have Scavenger, Restock, and Shrapnel all is my perk setup, that's the main reason I only have Dead Silence set as my field upgrade, and I highly recommend this whenever you guys are going to be going for tactical nukes, because you want to be as quiet as possible, and that way you can constantly flank around. And I find Dead Silence is really important in 6 versus 6 because there is a lot of sound whoring that is going on, but at the same time, that is the main reason, like I said, that I use bouncing Bettys, is because they're loud. I can hear them when they go off. It's the same thing with Claymores. Basically, it's just all about sound. And another added bonus is obviously the fact that they're going to help you control the power positions on the map, as well as cut off lanes that people might be able to come from, because again, if people want to traverse those Bettys, they're going to either have to use spotter and hack them, they're going to have to shoot at them, and whatever. So basically, in my opinion, absolutely crucial part of going for nukes is trying to use your arsenal the best you possibly can, and I would not recommend using offensive equipment such as Semtexes, frags, or anything like that. I honestly think that having defensive equipment, you can play aggressive as much as you want. I mean, you're going to have to, honestly, whenever you're playing for nukes, you don't want to go 100% balls to the wall all the time whenever you're playing. You really want to focus on each individual situation you're in, and you want to play every single life like it is your life, or every single kill, I should say, during that life like it is going to kill you. So you're going to want to constantly be putting yourself in the best possible position. And as you can see here, here's one of the things. So in Modern Warfare, you cannot cycle your kill streaks, which what this means is if you earn your advanced UAV as your highest kill streak, you cannot earn another advanced UAV or kill streak in that same life. And this is very important to why you want to have defensive equipment such as proximity mines with shrapnel or claymores or whatever, so that way you can just lay them down, get free kills, and also be able to sound horn like I said. But the main reason this is important is you're not going to get any sort of intelligence streaks to know where enemies are coming from once you earn your highest streak. So for me to have all these proximity mines, they're kind of like a miniature UAV in a sense, because if you understand how spawn logic works in this game, and if you hear someone coming from an area and they go ahead and trigger your proximity mine, you can assume that there are going to be more teammates around. See, basically here in Kill Confirmed, like I'm playing this, uses the team deathmatch spawn system, and in team deathmatch, people are generally going to be spawning with their teammates. And how this works is kind of a side versus side thing. So if the enemies are spawning on one side of the map, you're going to be spawning on the other side of the map, and it's basically going to be a giant game of tug of war. Knowing that, that means that I'm basically going to be running the spawns based off of where my teammates are located on the map, and then once we fully push up into the enemy spawn, that is whenever there's going to be a spawn flip that is induced. So here's the problem with the rushing playstyle in Modern Warfare, and why it is not really all that great if you're trying to stay alive and go on longer streaks and earn your kill streaks. And the main reason being is simply because, like I said, of how the spawns work, being a tug of war, and everybody is going to be on a side versus side kind of thing. Now in Hardpoint and Headquarters, the spawns generally work with the objectives, so rushing in those modes is very viable. But in Kill Confirmed, Team Deathmatch, Domination, and all these modes like this, the best way to play, and if you're trying to go for nukes or high streaks or anything, is to really lock down the spawns on the map. And the anchoring playstyle is the best way to do this, because you're going to be keeping the enemies from being able to get flanks off on the map, and basically they're going to be spawn trapped the entire game. And the reason this is so important is because let's say you guys are rushing and you go ahead and rush the enemy spawn and you cause a spawn flip. Now the enemies are going to be on the other side of the map, and these maps are kind of designed where there are power positions and there are buildings that are very strong choke points to hold down on the map. The problem is if you give that to an enemy, now you're at a severe disadvantage whenever you have to go back and try to basically get over there without any intelligence streaks. You know, you might not have a UAV, you might not have an advanced UAV because you already used it, and now once the spawn flips, you're not going to be able to streak up again, and on top of that, they might be in the power positions that they're going to be able to kill you, and it just basically becomes a complete mess. So I highly recommend that if you want to rush in Modern Warfare, play Headquarters and Hardpoint. Those are the only two modes that I would ever recommend rushing around in, simply because of how the spawns work and how the maps are designed with the power positions. And this is why a lot of people get frustrated whenever they're like, oh my god, this game's so campy, blah blah blah. Well, you have to understand how the game is designed. First off, this game is not designed for people to have the run and gun playstyle. As much as Infinity Ward said they wanted all playstyles to be viable, that is true. They really emphasized on the camping playstyle and more defensive playstyle this year. So you have to use that to your advantage. You have to understand that, and you'll be able to go on so many longer streaks if you can just get into your mind to just slow your playstyle down a little bit. And you know, if you really need to run around and that's just how you have to play this game. Like I said, Headquarters and Hardpoint, the spawns are going to be working around the HQ. But if you understand how this game works, you can really manipulate the map, and you can really manipulate the spawn system to work in your favor, and you can lock people in the spots, and basically you just keep farming people as they come back. And that is why that I personally believe that locking down positions on the map is honestly the most powerful way to play this game, as well as to go on longer streaks and get tactical nukes. So at the end of the day, it comes down to individual gun skill, map knowledge, map awareness, as well as using sound and everything towards your ability, and obviously luck of the lobby. You're not going to get tactical nukes against a 6-man party of cracked out players. It's just not going to happen, because someone is bound to kill you, or there's a lot of things in pubs that can kill you. I mean, there's, you know, like I said, bouncing betties and claymores, that stuff is not in a competitive match. UAVs and advanced UAVs are obviously another thing that's going to get you. So at the same time, it all comes down to the luck of the lobby, and I hope that this has helped you guys out. I hope you guys get more tactical nukes, and let me know in the comment section below. I have some more interesting tactical nukes from 6 vs 6 coming up soon. I have an AN-94 one I want to get out for you guys. I also have an M13 and a Grau 5.56, all assault rifles, because I'm a rifle player. So if you guys want to see those, be sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and let me know in the comment section below. How do you like to play Modern Warfare? Are you more of a passive player? Do you understand about the spawn locking and all that kind of stuff? Or do you just not care? Do you rush around and just, it is what it is? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.